everybody. Welcome to Why We Love Horror again. And it's one of those happy weeks we like to have here. I'm John Maher. That's Abby Brooks and Aaron Brooks broadcasting from their newest location. How you guys feeling?
New place, new blinds behind us. Yeah. These blinds are slightly less hood, so we've moved on up.
Are you guys getting a lot of like burnouts and motorcycles blowing past your house?
Or tornado warnings.
We're in a quiet area.
Quiet place, part 1.
That's awesome. Hey, remember, we said on Why We Love Horror trivia, which is coming up tomorrow. We're going to give you a preview of the future. A quiet place, getting less quiet with every movie.
A little louder. Now,
yeah.
A little bit louder.
Right. But today, like, there's this movie. It's an older movie, I guess, by standards of movies being released, because it's been like floating around in the ether for almost 2 years now. I think it made Horrorville's top 50 of 2023 last year, and it still didn't even get a limited release in America until this year. Everyone who I saw review this movie was like, oh my God, it's the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. And there's a case that can be made there, right? This is The Coffee Table.
Y les aseguro que esta mesa, por diseño y por su nivel, les va a cambiar la vida a mejor. Les va a aportar felicidad al hogar.
Es una mierda. Usted nos ve felices gracias a la puta mesita. ¿Usted cree que nos está aportando felicidad?
¿Tú estás por la mesita? ¿En serio? Te estás pasando, ¿eh?
La Mesita del Comedor. Let's go. All right. Hey, who wants to give a synopsis of this movie?
I'll take it. Why not? It's about as simple as we're going to get. Jesus and Maria have a new baby, and they're looking for a new coffee table. Jesus, for some reason, really likes this cheap Swedish-made coffee table covered in fake Chinese gold. And he ends up being convinced to buy this cheap, bargained yet very expensive table from the sleazy salesman, and things get turned on their head from there.
Is that, you think that's a sideways knock on IKEA? You think they're just fucking with IKEA at this point? It feels like a slight on IKEA.
Yeah. I thought of IKEA when they said the Swedes.
Yeah, I guess I just think they're just trying to say this is really shitty. Like they emphasize the fake gold like they were selling it, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, you know what? This movie is so straightforward. Like I've got to throw off the bat right away. I don't know if we're not going to spoil the spoil right away, but this movie is what happens like almost right away in the movie. And this movie is one of those, like, it's just like a pit of anxiety. It's like a Shiva Baby or a Uncut Gems style of movie where, like, 10 minutes in, like, this is going to end extremely poorly. And you're just watching these poor bastards, like, march towards, like, ungodly consequences. Abby, what do you think?
So I had heard a lot about this movie, and like you said, a lot of people were saying this was like the most messed up movie to come out in recent years, and I don't agree with that. But I do agree with the anxiety inducing. It is very similar to those two movies. It also kind of reminds me of like sort of Dream Scenario in a way, that just like anxiety where things keep building and you're like, this is a lot, but not to that extent. Like this movie definitely takes it further than all of those movies. With just what happens, like the situation of it all. But I did still enjoy this movie a lot, just for what it was.
Yeah. Aaron?
Yeah. Black comedy done right. It doesn't like break the joke in the middle or go for the punchline. It is like funny while like at the same time, if you watch this movie, you're like, that's not funny. I get it, but also it's like relax a little bit. It's not like edgelord humor either. It's just like very black humor. It's a movie that if you like let it kind of take you away with the anxiety and kind of the feelings of the main character Jesus, who I thought was so good. Like I've never seen him in anything, but like he was an incredible like actor, and you're rooting for this unrootable guy by the end of it. Like I'm yelling at the TV, like, you gotta kill everybody in here, man. Kill them all. Kill your brother, kill his wife, who's clearly pregnant with the no bad days and not drinking. Like, and kill the mother who you just killed their baby. Like, I'm literally yelling it at the screen. Like, you gotta kill them all, dude. It's the only way you get out of this mess where it's like a choose your own adventure book, which I always read those as a kid, and I'd always choose the worst scenario. Like everybody, right? You want to see the most interesting conclusion. That's what this guy does in real life with every single step. And he's also the world's worst cleaner on top of it all. Like he would have, if he ever committed a crime before this, like he's caught because he left not just blood, but the entire fucking head underneath.
If you didn't catch the huge spoiler, he's the wife. I don't want to say I kind of sympathize with the wife a little bit. Like they want to paint her like she's like this nagging, like just really bitchy woman, but she really isn't. Like she really isn't. Even though she's fucking mean as shit to him. Like I'm like cool because like she has moments where she's like clearly just having a bad couple days, right? So she's like, I've had this fucking baby. Like, you stay alone with the baby. I'm gonna go to the supermarket. Your stupid fucking brother and his girlfriend are coming over. Like, I'm gonna go get all the shit for it. You just take care of the baby for a few goddamn hours. And he builds the table, lays the baby down on the table, and the table immediately breaks and cuts the fucking baby's head off.
Unbreakable glass.
Unbreakable glass. But if you assemble the table incorrectly, it becomes extremely breakable. Which is what the guy says after.
Missing screw. The one
already broken and killed somebody. You kind of tell it's going to happen because like you hear the baby's just crying, like not shutting up. He can't control the baby. He walks off screen, then you hear like, and it's like, oh shit! Decapitates the baby. Head rolls under the chair, where it stays. And
incredible.
And we go from there because like Jesus is just in shock for like the remaining hour and 15 minutes of the movie. And he's just like he has like pieces of glass embedded in his hand. Who cares?
Yeah. And it's like, because I think what's really well done here, and now like Abby get in here too, because I don't want to, obviously I really like this movie. I'm excited, but like what I love about what the director does here is like, I think the director's well aware you're going to go into this movie knowing at least a little bit that you're getting into something dark here. For the most part, I think they anticipated that really well. And like a movie a couple of weeks ago with Abigail, I think that got in the way. Either the filmmakers didn't care or they didn't anticipate how much the marketing and buzz would ruin their movie, and it got in the way of the movie. Here, like it's not shocking that this baby yes, it's shocking, but it's like we've all watched like crazy stuff, so it's like that shocking. What's more shocking is just like how wrong of decisions he makes from that point forward. Like I feel like that's the more shocking part. So like not showing it, as we know, is way scarier than showing it. Like we've seen decapitate, like, so like that was a great choice, but go ahead, Abby.
No, I agree with all of that. I particularly like with this movie how it was all set up. Like there's this whole like really long drawn out scene in the beginning where they are going to like purchase the coffee table. Like they have the baby there, and then the two, Jesus and the wife, they're both like bickering, and like like things are on edge with these two. And then there's the sales guy, so it's set up really well. Where it's like, and then there's also the whole backstory of like it took them a really long time to be able to have this baby. Does he actually want the baby? Like there's just all of this like complicated like family stuff going on as well. And then he goes and accidentally kills the baby, which just makes it 1,000 times worse. So it's a really good setup. And I mean, when the baby decapitation happened, my first thought was, like how is he going to get out of this? Like, where are we going from here? And I think they did, again, a really good job of just like making you feel anxious because he's like running all over the place. He's going to the neighbors covered in blood, trying to get like cleaning supplies to clean up horribly. He has family coming over, and he just leaves a giant blood stain in the middle of the room. Like, it's just all of this stuff that like makes you want to like yell at the TV. And I think that was all really like well done.
And the one really cool subplot that we didn't mention yet is the fact that like his upstairs neighbor's daughter is like a sociopathic Lolita who's like gonna tell his wife that they're having an affair because like he helped her with a poetry assignment and sent her love poem sample.
And he's handling
love poems.
Yeah, and he's handling it terribly too.
Right.
Like he's handling it as bad as possible. And if you're watching like Baby Reindeer right now on Netflix, it's a very similar like type of scenario where he's just being too nice to the wrong type of person, and he doesn't know how to just like stop communicating with that person. And so he's trying to reason with this 13-year-old. And that's one of the, like, by the end, I'm like, I hope he runs away with Ruth, the 13-year-old. Like, I hope they just run away together. Like, how can he become more unlikable? Just give into it. Like, not that he was, but like, just fully go heel. Like, and so that's what this movie did to me by the end of it. Like, literally, I'm like, Ruth is going to come in. Ruth is going to save the day. She's going to kill Maria. It's going to be great. They're going to get away, kill the pregnant woman too, because she's going to snitch if she gets out of here. Like, we just got to clean it up and run away.
Yeah.
Like, this movie's fucked up, man.
It's great. I think I'm gonna just say, like, as a child of the 80s, the biggest tragedy is that kid never got to grow up in that room because he had great fucking toys in that room. An original He-Man, an original Raphael, an original TIE Fighter. Oh, there's like thousands of dollars worth of toys in that room, god damn it.
Yeah. And it's just like when they get the gift from the brother, and it's just like a cute little outfit. You're just like, oh, and he's just like looking at it. He's just numb at the table. David Perea is the name of Jesus, by the way. I wanted to get that name. Shout out to him. He's like really like that. It was like Nick Cage energy almost, but like the inverted Nick Cage energy that you need for a role like this. Like,
there's also the fact that they absolutely always shit on the baby's name. The baby's name is Cayetano, which is the director's first name.
Exactly, which I did not know till after the movie. So that was great.
So that's funny too. There's a lot of like there's a lot of like really good humor. I mean, black as hell, but like also some really subtle humor too if you're paying attention. It's really I can't stress like how much I enjoyed this movie. It was really, really good.
Yeah, this was a really good time.
Abby, anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I think you guys covered most of it. I mean, I think it ended really well too. Like, I just knew that it was it's gonna continue to like go and get worse and worse until it finally just explodes. And it does. I mean, obviously in the end, like, well, first of all, like, I knew that the little girl or like the young girl or whatever was gonna pop in at the worst possible time, and she does at the end. He doesn't run away with her, but she still just shows up when like everything's hitting the fan. And then they find the head underneath. Oh yeah, the dog finds the head underneath the chair, which I mean, the movie is really funny. Like it's the type of movie where it makes you feel bad for laughing at it, but it is pretty funny actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it ends kind of how you would expect it to. The wife jumps off the balcony. I knew somebody was going to end up killing themselves, and I guess both of them did technically.
They both did, yeah.
So I had a feeling that was going to happen, and then it just kind of ends there, sort of. But I did like how it ended and how they wrapped it all up. It's definitely not a happy ending.
Yeah, and then like it pans down like the brother's whatever girlfriend is being taken away in an ambulance, and the brother's just like 1,000-yard stare because he had a plan. The brother had a plan to fix it, sort of. He was just like,
he goes along with it at a certain point when like he finds out he's like also in it with his brother. Like everybody.
I got to breastfeed this baby in 10 minutes. Like, okay, come back in 10 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, not much more. It's a very straightforward movie, 90 minutes or 91 minutes, but just a thrill ride, like uncut gems level anxiety the entire time. Just so you know, for people that watch us every week, I'm no longer doing that John can fix it bullshit. This is our show. We're going to go straight to the ratings from now on. Here we go. I forget which one of us rated it the lowest. One of you. Aaron, you can go first.
So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I am all down for an anxiety ride, and it's good to join the Jewish anxiety rides of Shiva Baby and Uncut Gems. Welcome to the table, coffee table, because you're right almost on that level. I just had a great time with this. It was If there's one thing I would fix, not that Aaron can fix it as a segment, but like I do believe in the middle, it drags a little bit, and I think maybe that's the intention. But if this was an anthology and like an anthology in the middle of an anthology, I think it would work almost better. Like it was just like 60 minutes shaved down just a little bit, but that's like a really small nitpick because I love this on a rewatch. I might enjoy some parts I didn't. 4.5 videotapes out of 5 for me. This is nearly a perfect ride for me. Like this is my jam. This is one of my favorites of the year.
All right, Abby, go ahead.
So I did also enjoy this. I do agree with Aaron. The middle, I think, got a little too slow for me, and it didn't really feel like anything was really happening in the middle. Not that I like wanted it to be like something happening all the time, but it got a little bit too slow. But otherwise, I did really like this. I was expecting a little bit more. Like they really don't show that much. Again, not that I'm like asking to see like babies die on screen, but they really didn't show as much as I thought they were going to with like the hype that was surrounding this movie. But again, I really did like it. I liked how they set it up, how it ended, and I give it 4 out of 5.
You were the 4-star person. Okay, got it. And yeah, Aaron reminded me of a point I wanted to make, saying that this would fit in an anthology. They did do this in an anthology, actually. If you've seen XX, the all-women produced anthology, the second story in XX, The Birthday Party, is almost exactly the same plot. It's just that a mother finds a father dead, but the kid's birthday party is happening that day, so she stuffs the dead body inside of a giant panda suit. Spoiler if you haven't seen that, sorry. And the birthday party is actually my favorite segment in XX. I kept thinking about the birthday party while I was watching this, even though this is done way better than the birthday party. But if you like themes like this, watch the birthday party. It's just this whole movie condensed into a less than a half hour. I'm also at 4.5.
Very nice.
And like we've been doing every week, it is time to talk about the Why We Love Horror Letterboxd Challenge. It's hard to believe we're 20 weeks into this wild ride, but we're in the final set of weeks where we're talking about movies that are in foreign languages. Not that we're not going to talk about any foreign languages. This forced. That's the website down there. Final 4 letters is R, lowercase l, capital W, lowercase d, capital I. This week, it was watch a foreign language movie that is either in like a Indian dialect or any other Southern Asian horror movie. So there's a lot of different places you could choose from. We ended on me, so we'll start on me. I picked a country that's getting a ton of like attention lately ever since VHS 2 and Safe Haven is Indonesia. And I've been hearing a ton about Indonesian horror, and like I love Safe Haven. I loved The Subject in the other VHS 99. It's in one of those. I think it's in 99. So I went and I watched Sewu Dino, which is 1,000 Days, and I'll pull up the name of the director in a second. But it's about basically, and like I need to watch a lot more Indonesian horror because there's a lot of like Indonesian like folklore and like beliefs, and like they drop a lot of like kind of religious type stuff. So I was a little bit out of it, but I think the bones of like a really good story were there. It's kind of like your typical possession movie, but like in Indonesian culture, it's like so ingrained that they have their not like When Evil Lurks, but like they have their own methodology of how they would treat it, that everything is just accepted. Like, okay, like, you know, we're going to hire servants and the servants are going to be responsible for taking care of the possessed person. And it's about this rich family that hires a bunch of just like down on their luck kind of like peasant types. I guess I don't use the word peasant anymore, to come like complete this ritual that lasts 1,000 days. And however many bodies they got to throw at this possessed body to get their loved one at the end of the 1,000 days, they're going to do it because they're rich and fuck the poor. So, you know, Indonesia has the same problems we have here. Director's Kimo Stambol. I didn't wind up giving it like a huge score on Letterboxd, but I do think that this is a good entry point if you're into finding out about Indonesian horror. Effects are kind of like, the story is solid. So, Sewu Dino translates to 1,000 Days.
Good.
Oh, sorry. So I watched, technically it's a sequel. It's called May the Devil Take You 2. And I think we had watched the first movie, it was a couple months ago. Really enjoyed it. And this one, I feel very similarly to the first one. This is also an Indonesian movie. Both of them are. And it's very much so like an Indonesian, like Evil Dead kind of movie. Like even to the possessions and like the way these people look when they're possessed by these demons. Like it's very Evil Dead, like original Evil Dead looking. And yeah, I mean, they're definitely solid movies. The second one, this one is a little bit, it's pretty different from the first one. I wasn't really sure how it connected. But again, just watching it as its own thing, I thought it was really solid. It's the same main girl. Her name is Chelsea Islan. She's really good. Good in both of them. So yeah, I definitely recommend both of these. Obviously watch the first one first, but they're both really solid.
Cool. I know Aaron has a hidden banger for us.
Yeah, this is one I'm going to probably talk about a lot over the next few years because this one is honestly one that if I re-rated now, I'd give it 5 stars. It's Maddie Doe's The Long Walk from Laos. And like, honestly, I would suggest not even reading the synopsis because I think the synopsis gives away too much even. Essentially, this movie is about a guy who for 50 years is followed by a female ghost, and it's connected to a specific event in his life that kind of marks and scars him from there on throughout his life and defines him. And now in the future, he is in this role where he is essentially taking people or spirits that are in the afterlife who aren't yet put to peace and like putting them to peace. So it's like a really interesting, like Blade Runner a ghost story type of story here with time travel. It's not exactly scary, but like at the same point, it's definitely more a cerebral, elevated type of horror. If I like, it actually does fit that. Like the first act is like really kind of like dreamlike. Second act is like really weird and mysterious, and then by the third act, it does bring it all together. And it's just like I think this is a classic. I think this is a future like movie that people go back and point to. Why didn't anybody talk about this? Or maybe people did and I wasn't listening. But Maddie Doe, she works with a lot of the same people, and she's only made 2 movies, so I'm going to check out the other movies she's done also. But yeah, I really dug this movie. Her other movie is Mommy, You're a Sister, and it has a lot of the same cast as well. But I really recommend this one.
Long Walk did crack Horrorville's top 50 of I think last year, so it's definitely got some attention, and it's a movie that I feel I have to watch because it's on that list. Yeah. I that's like my Bible of the 2020 so far is the horror.
Yeah, it's another movie that came out in like 2019. Yet for a few years wasn't finding distribution, even though it had a lot of acclaim. So happens.
That's awesome. All right, we'll drop this back and we'll just wrap it up for today. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, share. The Facebook group is Why We Love Horror. TikTok is below me, WWL Horror. We do all kinds of crap. Monday is Versus. Thursday is this. Right after this, live on every platform, Horror Headlines. And then every Friday, we're doing Why We Love Horror trivia here on the channel. And we appreciate having you here. So thanks for stopping by.